Okay.
Like,
Awesome. It looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. Come on in the room. Chime in. Let us know where you're watching from. We're going to start right at 3.
okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm just gonna go live from my page.
Oh, you're fine. So if you're watching from the Crystal Bell Salisbury page, come on in. Let me know where you're watching from. Do not be shy of the comment section. It is not scary. I want to know who you are, and we will get started shortly. We have an amazing topic we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about business ownership, one of my favorite topics to talk about because, as you know, I am a business owner. So I believe in business ownership. I believe in the entrepreneurial mindset. So this is going to be a fun topic to talk about. And I'm blessed and I'm honored that I get to talk about this conversation with someone who knows all too well about business ownership. So it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
I see 2 people. Who are you? Let us know in the comment section.
Awesome. Come on in. Okay, finally, here we are.
All right.
I'm back.
Awesome. Let me turn my phone down because it seems like people want to call and text you when you're live. Also, I see you, Yolanda. Thank you for watching.
Hey, Yolanda.
Oh, we have 5 now, and it is 3 o'clock. We're
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and get started. So, welcome to episode. What is this? Episode 7, yes, of Financial Friday. And if you've been following me for quite some time, you know that Financial Friday is a weekly segment that I like to host every Friday on all things money. So, if you've been following me for the past 6 episodes, and today's the 7th episode, we've talked about money and mindset, investments, real estate, budget, debt annihilation, and life insurance. And today we're going to talk about business ownership. And if you've missed any previous Financial Friday broadcasts, guess what? I have uploaded them to my YouTube page. So that link has been posted to my page. So click on that link, and all the previous 6 broadcasts are posted to the YouTube page so you can watch them at your leisure, take notes, and learn things that you probably have never known about before. So enough about that. We're going to get right into today's topic, and my special guest is Mrs. Destini Love. She is a business owner. Awesome. She is a business
Hey.
owner of Love and Associates and DLove Travels. So welcome, Destini, to Financial Friday.
Thank you for having me. Girl, this is the
Awesome.
bomb.com. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you. So we're gonna dive right in. So for the audience, for those of you who do not know you, tell us about your background and what made you decide to start a business.
Okay. All right, guys. Hey, Crystal. Listen, what you're doing every Friday is such a blessing. It has blessed
Thank
my
you.
life tremendously, and I just hope that it is like a blessing to everybody that's connected. So, guys, I'm Destini. I am originally from Huntsville, Alabama. I graduated high school in Birmingham, Alabama. Um, Shout out to Fairfield. I don't know if some of my Fairfield joined, but then I went to Jackson State University, go Gamecocks, and
Okay.
then to Alabama A&M for my master's of social work. Okay, so that's why did I start a business? I have always been entrepreneurial, like from a kid. I was the kid in the neighborhood, and I had candy, and I would sell candy, and I loved it. I've always liked sales. I worked for Victoria's Secret when I was in college. Absolutely loved it. So working for somebody, Crystal, has never been the goal for me. That's never been the goal. It was part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I wanted to learn some things, get my feet wet, but it was never the goal. It was always to own my own business. So,
Awesome. Awesome. And I can truly understand that because like you, I've always had an entrepreneur. mindset. I was actually a sales specialist at Victoria's Secrets as well when I was in college. When I was younger, I always had hustles, like side businesses. So I always knew that entrepreneurship was going to be a significant a part of my life. And as I was working, for someone, I just knew that this just was not, God's ultimate plan for my life. So I'm excited that, we shared that mindset when it comes to business ownership. So could you tell the audience like what type of businesses do you own and like give us kind of a background on your businesses?
It's going like, I don't know if everybody can see this or if you see this, Crystal, but it's a little bit of a disconnect. I didn't hear your last question.
Oh, no problem.
Um, but did you ask me what the businesses are?
Yes, that was the question. And the internet, the devil try to come at you when you're doing something good. So we're gonna push past the internet issues. But yeah, that was the question.
Crazy. So I'm just ahead as if there is no technology. So first and foremost, my husband has a photography business. So when I married him, that was something he had been doing for years. And I'm like, this is a business. Let's like take it to the next level. So then that's when we immediately went into business mode, and I just began to manage that business. Of course, he is the brains behind it. He's the talent. He has the creative everything. My brain doesn't necessarily work that way, but I just began to help like from the managing standpoint. Then right now I have Love and Associates, which is a mental health firm. Okay. And it's me and two of my other partners. And we provide individual counseling, group therapy, family therapy, all things mental health. Okay. And then the most recent thing is my travel business. And it is DLove Travels. And that's like my fun business, right? In the mental health world, I get to like help people and get the mind right and go deep. But travel is such a great outlet. I love it.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's amazing. You mentioned three different businesses: your husband's business and how you support him, in the photography business, and D Love Travels and Love and Associates. So you are considered a serial entrepreneur, and which is amazing. Because
Yeah.
I believe in having multiple streams of income. I believe in owning multiple businesses, and that is amazing. So to segue into once we talked about that, let's segue into this question: what are some of the pros and the cons of owning a business? Because it's not always
Okay,
walk the
girl.
talk.
It, it's not, is it, Crystal? But like,
Mm-mm.
I would not have it any other way. I tell you that. So some of the pros, I gotta start with the pros because I feel like the pros way outweigh the cons. Okay, let me say
Mm-hmm.
that. Yes, it's challenges, yes, it's hard days, but the pros outweigh the cons. So first and foremost is freedom for me. I'm all about freedom. I like time freedom that you have with owning your own business. You make your schedule. You get to determine the pace of things. There's nobody telling you what to do and what not to do, because when you're working a job, you got a boss, and the
Mm-hmm.
boss has the CEO that sets the vision for that thing, and you have to line up with that vision. So I really, really love being able to. So some people say be your own boss, but by God, he is the boss. What person there telling me, what to do and what not. To me are the biggest cons. Having the time to be with my family, being able to work with my husband, being able to have something to pass down to my kids
Mm-hmm.
is like phenomenal. So if they want to, grow up and we can teach them to their skills so they can take over this business, to me, that is everything. Everything. So those are some of the pros that I wrote down. So then you have the cons. And that with anything, there's a learning curve, So once you start doing a thing, it's going to be some trial and error. Me and my husband, we work together in love photography, but we still learning, like it's a lot to it. It's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. So the learning curve, but just don't look at it as, yes, it could be a con, but it don't have to be a bad thing. You make a mistake, you fix it, you learn, and then you continue to move forward. Inconsistency as it relates to income. So some people really, really like to know that I'm going to get X amount of dollars on every other Friday, you know? So some people could look at that as a con. To me, it's a little bit exciting, you know? It's like, okay, God, you know? And then another thing that I was, when I first went out into private practice, like missing like the connection of coworkers. You know, you can kind of find yourself being alone a lot of the times, you know, in the entrepreneurial world. Crystal, at this point, I have the time connection I want to connect with. So, that could be a con. I would say some people like to go to work for the social aspect of it, and I get that because I'm a social butterfly. So yes, those are some of my pros and cons.
Okay, awesome. And the reason why I asked that, because, I want to give our audience a clear picture of what running a business is like. A lot of times we see the things on Instagram and Facebook, like people making all this money, which is maybe true for most people, but you don't understand the journey it takes to get there. So I want people to get a clear understanding of course, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, you do set your own schedule. You have more time with your family. Those are great things. And that's one thing I'm glad that I have right now. But, there does come a learning curve. There are some good months and there's some not so good months. And that comes with the territory. So I just want people to understand, if you're going to go into owning a business, just understand it's not going to always be sunny days. There may be some clouds here and there, and you have to know how to navigate those clouds and really keep your faith in God. And I'm glad we're talking about this, because this is a question that I want to ask. How has faith impacted your business, your faith?
How has my faith?
Yes. How has your faith impacted your business? How important is your faith?
Oh girl, it is absolutely everything. Like I literally, not only, I mean, in my quiet time, I'm asking God what to do, because I don't know. Like, and the beautiful thing about it is we don't have to know. We don't have to have all the answers, but I trust God, and it has really pressed me more into a place of dependence upon Him. So I have surrendered my businesses to God, and then I depend for direction and strategy and what to do and what not to do. I believe that He gives me the ability to get wealth, so I have to go to Him. And, okay, what I need to do today. But my faith is me, because, girl, if you don't have faith that things will be okay and that God is providing for you, then you're going to take it and you're going to throw it out the window. You're going to be like, whatever, I can't do it. You have to have your whys have to be really, really profound. It has to be something big enough to sustain your dream, your vision. And then you have to rely on your faith.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny. I was just having this conversation with my husband yesterday about, how important it is to not only have faith in of course, have faith in God, have faith in your business, but also to learn how to make God the CEO of your business. Because a lot of times, I'm just going to be honest. I'm a type A personality, and sometimes you want your business a certain way. Like, I want it this way, I want it that way. And it's like, Crystal, at the end of the day, God is the CEO of your business. You need to listen to Him. You need to learn from him. You need to lean on His direction for your business, because He knows best, because He sees it all. I can't see everything. I can only see what's in front of me. And that's where my faith comes in. So that's something that I'm having to learn, to take a step back. Even in my mind, I'm like, yeah, God is the CEO, but am I really making Him the CEO? And that's something that I'm learning to just like let go. Like, God, it's all yours. You tell me what to do and I'll do it.
That's good. And then another thing, Crystal, is like, even, and I guess this is kind of a con too, right? So when you walk into full-time entrepreneurship, you're really going to be tested. Like, if you think you're a an organized person, it's really going to come out if you're organized or not. Are you really focused? Do you really have the discipline? And you know, those that could be cons if you're really not. Like some people need to be told what to do. Some people need
Absolutely.
somebody standing over their shoulder saying, turn this in, write this, do
Mm-hmm.
this. But it's also an opportunity for me when those weaknesses come up, then I just go before God. I'm like, God, I need help. You
I
know,
know.
and I'm just relying on him, girl. I'm relying on him.
Absolutely. And your faith is really tested in that season when you're, especially when you're starting, even actually the whole process, but specifically when you're starting out, because you don't, there were some times I'm like, yeah, I'm just not sure right now. Like, I'm praying this rent get paid this month.
Yes, ma'am.
Like you
Yes,
literally, like
ma'am.
literally you and God, like there was a point when I was living in Montgomery and this was before I got married. It's like, yeah, God, I have no choice but to walk by faith and not by sight. Like it's just me and you right now. I don't know
That's it.
what's coming. I don't know.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then some days you like, thank you, Lord, for the manna, right? It's a day by
Yes.
day thing. And that even now, at one point, Crystal, is really, really scary. You know, I was holding on to my job like for dear life,
Mhm.
but now it's exciting. It's like, okay, you know, I get to trust you at another level. And I really, really believe that God matches our faith. So
He
if
does.
we have, you know, little faith, then that's what we can expect to receive from God. But when you increase your faith, then he's gonna meet you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are absolutely right. And I
Yeah.
just want to read some of the comments. Kelly Roser said, hello, ladies. Yolanda said, Crystal, you are awesome. What you're doing is amazing. Thank you, Yolanda. Quintara Hammond said, hello, y'all. Tawana Neely said hello. Crystal Williams said hello, Queens. Thank y'all for the greetings. Yeah, of course, if you have any questions, let us put them in the chat and we'll get to them. So I'm going to move on to my next question. How has having a business changed your life?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so remember, so when I first got married to my husband, you know, he was already doing photography.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a business, but it was also to him kind of like a passion and a hobby. So
True.
when we turned it into business, right,
Mm-hmm.
and we really really began to see the income that we could make, then I believe what it began to do for me is make me look at jobs differently. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it made me look at jobs not as, you know, the end all be all. I'm like, yeah, we can work a job, and to be honest, what me and my husband do and did for jobs are really our passion. We love to help
Yeah.
people. We love to serve. You know, I'm a social worker. He works with children, and we began to just look at it as that is service, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not something we have to do for money,
True.
because really what he makes in an hour, you know, at times, or in 2 hours, it could take 2 weeks at a job.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you
So
mean.
it made me look at jobs. It's like not to be at a job and not grateful for where you are and what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
but it just makes you know, like, this, I don't necessarily have to do this to survive.
True.
So what? So and also another thing is just, I think it just continues to expand my mind, the horizons.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally there's no bounds. I feel like the opportunities are endless. Like, whatever, we're our own limitation. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
That's what it has done for me. It has let me know that I am my own limitation.
Absolutely. That is a good nugget. I hope you're taking notes. We are our own limitations. Write that down, people, because it's so true.
Yeah.
We are so much in our brains all the time. Like, what if this doesn't work? What if I can't pay this
Yes.
bill? And it's like, shut that down. Those are important. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
That's important. However, you have to make a decision. Either you're gonna, especially if you're a believer, either you're gonna trust God or you're not. It's just either or at this point.
That's
You
it.
can't straddle the fence, and that's something that I had to learn because I was that person that did straddle the fence, years ago. And it was like, Krista, do you trust them or you don't? And for me, I
Yeah.
had to, like, you have to, like, for me, the ultimate test was me literally making that jump. Like, I'm out. I'm done. Like, this is my last day. This is my
Yes.
2 week notice. It's been real. I have to go. This is
Yes.
not, this is not my destiny, and that was the ultimate test. Like,
Me too.
yeah, it was scary. And
Girl,
for
I
those of you who
remember
are
because
watching, I'm like, if you're just if you're toying with the idea of leaving your job, if there's something you desire, I'm gonna be honest. It's a faith move. It can be scary, but God will meet you on the other side. Especially if you believe and you trust in Him.
it,
I promise you, when I had days where I didn't think I was gonna make it or I was gonna lack, God came in every single time. Like the old people,
every time.
our aunts, our grandmothers used to say, He may not come when you want Him, but He's always on time. That is true. He will come at the midnight hour. You be like,
Always.
that was a close one,
Always.
God.
And even for me, and another thing I would share with people is to keep in mind that God gives us assignments, right? And
True.
we're on a journey. And I even know, like, for me, I would look at it as an assignment, but then somewhere along the way, it's like I begin to hold on to it. That's what happened with my last position. I was there. I knew that it was a stepping stone, right? But then it just got so comfortable. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I love this. I'm gonna be here for 10 years. And then we begin to hold too tightly to
True.
it. When God was like, no, this is where you're going. Don't get too comfortable, with that.
Absolutely. And also, it's important to understand that seasons change. And I'll share this. When I left Jacksonville State and was moving to Montgomery, I already knew that that wasn't my last stop. I just knew. It was just
Yes.
a knowing, and it was just a step. It was just a season of my life that I had to do in Montgomery. God had opened the door there, but I knew that was just a season of my life. So I think it's important people understand that life is full of seasons. Some places you're not meant to be there for a lifetime. And you have to understand that. You have to
Yes.
pray to God today, and so He can give you that revelation. Because I got that revelation, in my 20s, that I knew that I wasn't going to always be there. Now, I didn't think I was going to be there as long as I did. You know, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
life happened. Things, doors were closed in my face. I tried to leave on several occasions, but I guess God knew best that I needed to stay a little bit longer. And then when it was time to go, it was time to go. So just understand that
Yes.
seasons do change, and don't feel like you have to be stuck at a place because that's what society is telling you, especially if God is calling you to a higher purpose.
So good.
Hmm.
So good.
So, and my next question is, since we're talking about business ownership and setting up a legacy for our families and our children, so what do you see yourself financially in the next 10 years?
Now this Crystal, and like when I first hearing that, I'm like, oh, it's not as easy as I immediately thought it. I'm like, oh, that's easy. No, it wasn't. But I did narrow it down to a couple of things. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, absolutely debt free. I
Mm-hmm.
debt free, right? Um, Not a little bit of debt lingering, debt free.
True.
Another thing is being well into millionaire status.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be well into millionaire status, making at least $1 million annually, and
Mm-hmm.
also being able to give at least $250,000 on an annual basis. That's one of my goals.
Yes.
Um, at first I had $1 million. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give $1 million a year. And listen, I'm a giver at heart, so who
Mm-hmm.
knows? But I know at least $250,000 will be what we're giving annually.
Absolutely. Those are very amazing goals. So that's just as telling it. I want the audience to understand that you can dream big. You don't have to say in 10 years, I hope to, make 60,000. No, you could say you want to make 1,000,000, let's dream big,
Yes.
let's not put limits on God, because, God will not put limits on us, so that we shouldn't put limits on him, because he created us and he knows what we're capable of. So yeah, so just
Absolutely.
dream big when it comes to your financial goals, and understand, and going back to the job, one thing I will give a word of advice when it comes to your job: make sure, if you are deciding, if entrepreneurship is a thing for you and you want to leave your job, make sure that you're utilizing your job as a stepping stone so you can leave properly, meaning that it
Yes.
won't be such a burden. I think a lot of times people be thinking,
Yes.
I'm quit, but they're not positioned properly, if that makes any sense.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and I think that's important, because a lot, of course, everybody's journey is different. Some people are more positioned, they're positioned properly, they have a large sum of money in savings, and some may have a medium sum. I know it depends on your journey, but just, that's a word of advice, just make sure you're positioned properly, that so we'll lessen the burden and the stress level. So I'm just going to put that, because,
That's good.
if you're not positioned
That's
properly,
good.
if you have a lot of debt weighing on you, you've got all these car notes, and you just have all these bills, it makes it a little bit, it's not impossible, but it makes it a little bit more
Yeah.
difficult.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. And that was
Yes.
something I
And
had to,
don't do it out of emotion.
exactly.
Don't make an emotional decision. Some people, they'll know that they want to quit, right? And
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm not gonna be here forever. But then you wait till you get mad, and now it's like,
True.
bloop, I ain't even working out a notice.
Exactly.
Ah,
Nah, not a good idea.
we don't make emotional decisions.
Absolutely not. And it's funny, because when I made the decision to actually quit, for me, it was, I want to say, a 4 or 5 month process. Like, it wasn't something that I just like, oh, I'm quitting today.
Yes.
Like, I had already been thinking about it for years, but when I really got serious about it, that's when I went into prayer. I went into prayer.
Yes.
I spoke with my pastor. I went through counseling sessions with him. I spoke to people that I trusted that
Yep.
were entrepreneurs. Like, I
Me
really
too.
did. I did my work. I didn't just be like, oh, I'm tired of this place. No, it was a process for me. And I think, maybe a process for a lot of people. You have to really put in the work. You really have to see God. And it's funny. I always tell people this, of course, I'm a woman of faith. I do have faith, but I always tell God, I say, God, if this is what you want me to do, can you please still send a sign just in case? Just in
Yes.
case.
Yes.
And I asked for 3. I said, God, and I told him, I said, I don't care if you send it to me in a text message, you put it on Facebook, you have someone say it to me. Like, that's how I talk with God. Like, I was real. Like, God, I'm about to make this
Me
major
too.
decision. And I have an knowing and awareness that you're talking to me, that saying this is the right decision, but just to be on the safe side, could you give me some signs? And he
Yes,
did.
ma'am.
He gave me 3 signs. And I said, okay,
He's
here we
good.
go.
He's
Yeah.
good like that, Crystal. Some people be like, "Oh, you don't question God." Listen, He is
Listen,
our daddy. God
he
don't.
is.
He wants our questions. He can take all of it. So
Mm-hmm.
ask Him for what you want.
And it's funny, because when I was telling God, I was like, I don't care if you put it on Facebook. Like, 2 of my signs came from Facebook, which is so funny. I said, yeah, God, you did hear me, dude. And then my 3rd sign came from an actual
He's so
person.
good.
I said,
I
yeah,
love it.
when I said Facebook, you can put it on Facebook, God. Let me know so I can read it. But that was
Yes,
just
I
how
love
serious
it.
I
I
was.
feel
Like,
you.
I was that when you're that hungry for God, when you're that desperate for answers, you will do what it takes. You will get on your knees, you
Yes,
will
ma'am.
call people, you will go through counseling sessions, you'll pray, you'll fast, and you'll do what you have to do. And that's another piece of advice I want to give
Yes,
people.
ma'am.
When you're deciding to make that decision, you have to put in the work. You have to go to God and be like, God, is this where you want me to do? If it's not right now, when? Because a lot
Right.
of times, we may operate out of season, where we may have quit 2 years early when we should have quit. We quit in 2015,
Yep.
but we really should have quit in 2017. That type of thing.
Yes,
So you
ma'am.
just have to understand
Mm-hmm.
when the right season it is for you to make that move. Because when you do it out of season, I'm not saying that God won't bless it, but it becomes a little bit difficult. And of course, it's probably going to be difficult in
Absolutely.
general, but it's a little bit easier when you're operating in the right season, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely, Crystal. It's so important to be in the will of God. And girl, for so long, that's why I didn't move. I'm like, God,
Yeah.
I want to make sure this is not me, and then this
Hmm.
is you. Are you telling me to leave?
Exactly.
And I knew I liked my job, like I really, really liked what I was doing. I knew it wasn't me telling, God gave me multiple confirmations, go, go,
Mm-hmm.
go. So, um, yeah,
Absolutely.
seek him, and
See,
he will
yeah.
answer.
Yeah, and it's funny because and it's important to understand the voice of God because God speaks us differently. I know some people, and I'm just going to be transparent. A lot of times, I don't audibly hear God, so God reveals a lot of things through
Yeah.
my spirit and through dreams. I dream pretty much every night. And my dreams are they're interesting, and I have to write them down because I think those are God, those are ways God is sending messages to me. He'll put people on my heart, and I'll dream about them or I think about them. But God, that's how He communicates. So understanding how God communicates with you is also important because He communicates to everyone differently. It's not the same. Some people may audibly hear all the time.
Yes.
Some people may never audibly hear him. And,
Yes.
they may hear him one time, and they may get dreams most of the time. So, but yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. So let's see. We got Takia Young said, "Go girl." Gretchen McComb said, "God orders our steps in decency and in order, and leaving a job improperly is not the way He's going to do it." You are absolutely right. Yolanda Knight said, "Send it, Jesus." Awesome. Thank y'all. Thank you, ladies, for commenting. So my last question to you is, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who is kind of thinking about starting a business? They're exploring the idea, but they haven't really made the ultimate decision. So what is one piece of advice you would give to them?
So what I have written, Crystal, is with like exclamation points. Do it, do it, do it. Now, do I mean do it impulsively? Do it without wisdom? No.
Mhm.
So with that, do your research. But still do it even if you're afraid. That's another thing. A lot of people are like, oh, I need to have all this, peace. And yes, you need to have peace in the decision, but don't think that fear is not going to creep in, because
Oh
it
yeah.
will. But so continue to do it even if you're afraid. I would say to connect with other entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
Get wisdom. The word of God says to seek counsel. So get some counsel from people who have done it. Also, be mindful of who you're sharing this vision with, because there's going to be some people who just will not see what you
Mhm.
see, and it is really not for them to see it. But you
Absolutely.
have to be mindful to connect with people of faith, people who have faith. And what they'll do, they don't have to see your vision, but they can still support you in the
Mhm.
direction that you're going and what God has told you to do. And it gets hard, Crystal, because sometimes, and I know I've been there, trying to explain to other people what God has told me to do.
Mhm.
And then of course people look at me like, so be mindful of who you're sharing it with. And then
Mhm.
another one I would say is consider direct sales. Consider direct sales, consider multi-level marketing. And I know there's a lot of controversy behind that. There's a lot of fears. I think people really, really fear what they don't understand. Get some understanding. I think it is so many great skills that you can learn from a multi-level marketing
Mhm.
business. And I think it's also a really great stepping stone, a jump start for you to be an entrepreneur, learn some things, get your feet wet, and still not be by yourself. I think it's a
Mhm.
beautiful, beautiful system. So that is what I would say to an aspiring entrepreneur.
Awesome. Also, and thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to kind of piggyback on what you said about direct sales. And I'm in total agreement with you. I actually was in direct sales, and I think I started in 2011. And that was actually kind of one of my first businesses as an adult. And honestly, you learn
Yes.
so much about how to run a business. You're not out there by yourself, especially if it's a product or a service that you really care about and you're passionate about. And that's another thing.
Yes.
Oh, that's one thing I want to say too. I know a lot of people may come to you and ask you to join this direct sales company, join this multi-level marketing. One thing I will
Mm-hmm.
say, some people may disagree. I think you need to. I don't think I know you have to have a passion for what you're doing. So if travel is not your passion, don't do that.
Absolutely.
If makeup is not your passion, don't do Mary Kay. If you know if the vitamin supplement world is not your passion, don't do it just because some people are making money. Because I will say this, if your passion is not tied to it, you're probably not going to make as much money as they're doing, because they're really all in it. You know, not only for
Right.
they're in it for the money. Of course, you want to make money, but they're in it because they truly care about the brand. They truly care about the product and service. So be mindful of that when anybody approaches you about joining a direct sales company or a multi-level marketing company. Make sure it's something that you have a true desire to do, and don't just do it for the money. Because if you
So
do it
good.
just for the money, you will be disappointed when you don't hit certain metrics. So that's kind of
Crystal,
my
you better teach. You better
listen.
teach, Crystal. And
I've
at
had
the end of the day, if you do anything just for money, it's just
Mhm.
not gonna be it. I can almost guarantee you.
Absolutely,
You cannot, that can't be your desire. That can't be your motivation.
it can't, because there's some mention. Even when I was, I'll tell you what I sold 31 gifts for I think 5 or 6 years, and there was some months I didn't make any money. Now I was passionate about the business, so you're gonna go through cycles like that. So if you're not in it, if you're only in it for the money, you'll probably quit the first month. I'm just gonna be honest.
That's it.
I'm like, you have to have a passion for the brand, the product, what have you, in order for you to keep going in. And of course, and of course, my season with 31 ended, a couple years ago. But that was for a season. And I was grateful for that season. It taught me a lot. I developed connections. I still am in communication with people that were on my team those several years ago. So
Nice.
it was a great journey, and I'm excited for this new journey I'm on. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. Also, I want to just point this out. Even though Destiny and I are full-time entrepreneurs, for those of you who still want to keep your 9 to 5, absolutely do it. You can always have a part-time business. You don't have to go full-time as an entrepreneur. That's
Yes.
our journey and our story. That's what God led us to do. But if you still have a desire to stay in the 9 to 5 world, but you want to explore the idea of a business, you can be an entrepreneur and have a full-time job as well. I did that too. It is very possible.
Absolutely.
It is possible.
Yes. And I would encourage everybody, Crystal, before you have kids and before you are married, listen, it's no reason for you not to have another business and
Exactly.
multiple streams of income.
Absolutely. Because the reality is, people, you can't just live off one stream of income. That is not the way of the world anymore. So you need to explore thinking about whether it's a side business or some sort of quote unquote side hustle, whatever you want to call it. Look into that. God gives us passions. He gives us skills. We were not created just to do one thing.
Yep.
I do not believe that. That is not the will of God. So search deep down inside to see what other skills that you could be utilizing, not only to benefit yourself, but to benefit the world as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And yeah, Yolanda said, have a passion. That's right, Crystal. Passion is everything to me. If I don't have a passion, if I'm not passionate about it, I'm probably not going to give it 100. I'm just going to be honest.
And I'm not doing it because
Yeah, or I'm not doing it too.
I know who I am. And like, I know that I'm here on purpose and God has given me a vision. So I don't have time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before we go, for those in my audience, thank you so much for chiming in. It looks like we were kind of fluctuating between 10 to 15 people watching. So thank you all for watching. For those of you who may be interested in the travel business, so Destiny, if you can give them your information, or if they're needing to talk to someone dealing with mental health, could you give them your information on that as well?
Yes, guys. So, of course, I'm Destini Love on Facebook. Just inbox me. But I also have a Love and Associates business page. You can go and follow us there for all your mental health needs. And DLove Travels is also my Facebook business page. So go check me out. But always, guys, just inbox me. We could chat about all of it.
Awesome. Awesome. So you heard her. She said just inbox her if you have any questions, if you're interested in it going into the travel business, if you're wanting some mental health counseling, she is your woman. So thank you
Yes.
so much, Destiny, for being my special guest today and having this great conversation about business ownership. Does anybody have any questions before we go? I want to thank everyone that has been engaging us so far. Thank you so much. But this is the time to ask questions while we're here. Ask away. We will be transparent.
Yeah. Because being, yes, that is what really, really helps people. We are. Crystal, I love this. Like, we can just do this every day, Crystal.
I know,
Just do this
right?
every day.
I know. Change the world one broadcast at a time.
Thank you.
Yes. We need, and God led me, and it's funny, God laid this on my heart back in April to say, because I used to do this, like I would do like Facebook posts on Financial Friday. Like this is back probably when I started doing it like right after I became debt free. Well, actually a little bit before, because I was really into, I'm still am, but I was really, really gung ho back then. And I was writing these financial posts every Friday. Then I kind of stopped doing it, and I would pick it back up and stop doing it. And then April came around. It was like financial literacy month, and God laid in my heart, you know what? You should start back Financial Friday up, and you should do it as a broadcast. I said, okay, God, I'm gonna think about it. And I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and be obedient. So that's
It's
that.
a blessing, girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blessing, and it's so what is needed in our community. And like right
Yes,
now, I'm so excited that I feel like Black people are really, really coming to a place of, understanding their power and how,
absolutely.
their dollar matters and things like that. So I'm on 10.
Yes. Love talking about all things money because, God, like you said in the scripture earlier, God gives us the ability to make our own way prosperous. No excuses, people.
Yes.
It may not always be easy, but it can be done. It can be done. It can be done.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, it looks like we don't have any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast here. But thank you so much, Destiny. I really, really appreciate you coming on and having this conversation with me. My prayer is that it bless someone that was on here. And of course, if ladies and guys, if you have any questions later on, you can always inbox Destiny or myself, and we will get back with you. But
Yes.
thank you again, everyone, for watching. Thank you again, Destiny, for being my special guest. And I hope everyone has a peaceful
Yay!
rest of the day. And I have some bad news. Financial Friday will end in 2 weeks. I'm taking a break. But I promise you it will be back in full force. I have 2 more episodes left in this season. We're going to be talking about savings. And my last episode is going to be about
Yay.
giving and what that looks like. Giving,
Yay!
savings, and giving.
Love
So
it.
those are my last 2 episodes. Please be on the lookout for those. They're going to be the next 2 Fridays at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, if you miss it, the replay will be on Facebook and it will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. Once again, thank you again, and I
Sweet
hope to
deal.
see you next Friday. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.